Greetings aspirants. Welcome to another episode of CC Concepts of the subject Science and Technology. Today we'll be talking about the Indian Regional Satellite Navigation System, in short called the IRNSS, also named as NAVIC, after its latest satellite was launched, and it was renamed by our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi in November 2016. So what do you think navigation is at all? See, navigation is nothing but finding the exact location of a particular thing or a particular person or whatever it is, right? Let's simplify this concept of navigation. Take a simple 2D plane which has x-axis and y-axis. If you want to locate a point on a 2D plane, you have to know the distance, like the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate, then you can know the location of the point, or you have to know the distance from the origin to that point and also the angle of inclination. In this way you can find the location of this point xy. But what is the case with the earth? But with the earth is not just a 2D plane. We are going to have many different many different terrains. So you have to find latitude, longitude, then you are going to know the location. But you need to have an idea of where that person, like when that person is in that location. At the same time, because of the different terrain, we are going to have an altitude. So these are the basic aspects which navigation satellite is looking at. Then moving forward, as I told you, when you are talking about the navigation satellites, you are going to talk, the basic aspects you are going to see are the latitude, longitude, altitude, and also time at which he was at that position. If we had talked about the IRNSS or the NAVIC system, the primary service area, the area where it's giving the primary services, extends for all over the region and also beyond the boundary for up to 1500 kilometers from its regional boundary. Also the extended service area of the NAVIC system lies between a rectangle which is enclosed between the latitude 30 degrees south to 50 degrees north and also the longitude 30 degrees east to 130 degrees east. If you can see the picture, this is the primary service area of the NAVIC and this is the extended service area, as you can see in the NAVIC, with an accuracy of more than 20 meters, with an accuracy better than 20 meters, right? As I told you, the position accuracy which is provided by the NAVIC is better than 20 meters. Now moving forward, if you look at the number of satellites in this constellation NAVIC, we are having 7 satellites in total. In this IRNSS constellation, where 3 satellites are in the geostationary orbits and 4 satellites are in the geosynchronous orbits. As I told you, geostationary orbits are those orbits which are at high altitude, that is greater than or equal to 35,786 kilometers, and also these geostationary orbits are in line with the equator, whereas these orbits are at the same altitude but at some inclination from the equator. So this is the difference between the geostationary and the geosynchronous orbits. So the first satellite which was launched under this constellation was IRNSS 1A, and with the launch of the last satellite, which was in November and the year 2016, our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi named the constellation as Navigation through Indian Constellation. That's how it got the name NAVIC. Now moving forward, what are the kind of services it's going to deliver? It's going to deliver 2 kinds of services. The standard positioning service, which is provided to all the users, whereas the restricted service, which is provided only to authorized users, like for example the defense purposes. Also, as I told you, this is going to provide an expected accuracy of better than 20 meters, and our scientists are working on to bring the accuracy to less than 5 meters. If we do that, we will be better than the GPS, which is the navigation satellite constellation of the country United States of America. Now, what are the applications you think you have with the navigation satellites? We have the following applications, like we need for the navigational disaster management. So navigation, you have again under navigation, now that we are finding the altitude also, you can use it for 3 of the navigations, like on like terrestrial, aerial, marine, like in air, in water, and also on land. We can use it for different types. And also we have we can using it for vehicle tracking and fleet management, and also we are going to integrate this NAVIC system with the mobile users and also mobile phones. It can also be used for mapping and geodetic data capture. Geodetic data capture is nothing but finding the coordinates, nothing but finding the coordinates of a particular person or an object. And also it can be used for terrestrial navigation aid for the hikers and the people who love to travel to long distances. Lastly, it is also used for visual and voice navigation for the cab drivers, and the other drivers, right? Now, let me ask you a simple question. Do you think India is the only country which has India is the only country which has launched this kind of constellation? I would say no. There are other countries too, and India would be the fifth country. India would be the fifth country to have its own satellite navigation constellation. What are the other countries and what are the other systems existing now? The first one being the GPS, which is a commonly used word, which we commonly use. But I would say that commonly used word is wrong, and I'll tell you why. Before that, GPS, which is of the country USA, GLONASS, which is of the country Russia, and Galileo from the European Union, Beidou of China, and NAVIC of India, and then we have QZSS of Japan. So these are the countries having their own regional navigation satellite system, and these four are providing global services. And do you think India is like providing global services? I would say no. For now we are only providing regional services, but we don't know, in future it might go to even global services. Now talking about the GPS. GPS, as I told you, we commonly use the term GPS when going to like some friend's house or some marriage, or we are planning to travel to some location. But GPS is the satellite constellation or the satellite navigation system of the country USA. Do you think the services which you are getting on your mobile phone now are coming only from the constellation of USA? The answer is no. You are getting these services from all kinds of satellite systems which I have talked about just now. Now coming to GPS, there are a total of 32 satellites. There are a total of 32 satellites in the mid-earth orbits ranging from 2000 kilometers to 35,780 kilometers. From 2000 kilometers to 35,780 kilometers. At this height, we are having different satellites, which is the 32, whereas for NAVIC we have only 7 satellites, right? And also it is providing global services, whereas NAVIC is providing only regional services to primary service area and extended service area. Now, if you are talking about the differences between these two satellite systems, the parameters we are going to cover are the coverage, number of satellites, cost, orbits, and also accuracy. Now, coming about GPS, we have global coverage, whereas NAVIC, as I told you, is only having regional coverage. And the number of satellites, it's 32 here, and whereas here we have only 7 satellites which are operational. Coming to the third part, cost. The operational cost, estimated operation cost of the GPS for the NASA is around $1 billion, which is quite high, whereas the operational cost is less than half for the NAVIC compared to the GPS. Coming to the orbits, as I told you, these are only in the mid-earth orbits, whereas our GPS, our NAVIC, whereas our NAVIC constellation satellites are in the geostationary and geosynchronous orbits. Talking about the accuracy of the GPS is about 5 meters, whereas the accuracy we have achieved is better than 20 meters for now. So in this video we saw about our NAVIC and also IRNSS, how it was named NAVIC, different details, the services, its applications, and we have talked about GPS also, and we have seen other global navigation satellite systems which are being operated by other countries. We'll be back again with the next video. Thank you.